Hello and welcome back to Wow Embossing channel. My name is Aditi and today I am sharing this mixed media page using some of the new release products in this tutorial. I am going to be playing with the building block set, and these come with some amazing embossing powders mimicking brick, granite, concrete and the like, and I can tell you they are amazing. So for my page, I'm using this Aall and Create stamp, a floral cluster stamp. And I first begin by stamping this with embossing ink on my page directly. I am not using any stamping platform, and that's the reason why I make sure to really firmly press so that I have a nice impression. And then going in with granite, I am going to heat emboss that image. So what this has done is given me a nice image for my background and that heat embossed texture, and it just helps me start building layers further on the page. So heat setting that to melt that powder. I am then going to be playing with liquid acrylics here from Prima Marketing. So I have magenta, lime green and burnt sienna, and I am just pouring out a drop of the colors on my palette, nicely diluting them. So I'm using more water, less pigment, and I am also misting my page with water just to get that a little moist. Beginning with the burnt sienna, I start painting the background of the page. So I am keeping the edges more darker, adding more pigment towards the edges, and just dragging that pigment with my wet paintbrush inwards to lighten it. Next, I go in with magenta just on the petals of the two flowers, and I do bring it outwards and blend it out onto the page just to have that color on the background as well. I use the lime green for the leaves, and I bring in more of the lime green in my background, blending it nicely with the burnt sienna and the magenta randomly at places to create a nice abstract colored page. So once I have enough pigment and color and I feel like there's a good balance, I will quickly dry this page with my heat tool on the first heat setting, and that's something I absolutely love about the Wow Dual Heat tool. The first heat setting can just be used to quickly dry out things, and then the second heat setting when you're embossing to melt the powders. So just doing that, I have my page prepped for further embossing. So I'm using two other embossing powders from this set. So I have just skipped using concrete from the quartz set, but I am playing in with some background stamps and stamping them on the page. So again, going in with embossing ink, just using different pattern background stamps to add texture and heat emboss that to build interest and further vintagey, grungy looking texture for the page. So I work with brick first and heat set that, so that's a nice hexagon and scripty background pattern. And then I'm going in with this with the tiny squares, grid, further with numbers, so just patterns. And this one I will be heat embossing with the asphalt embossing powder. So with that, I have added enough texture and interest to the page. And off camera, what I did was using the same stamp set, I stamped the single flower and colored it with the same paint colors but making it more vibrant and fussy cut that. So that is going to be my focal point. Underneath that, I am just loosely putting a few strands of the black thread just to create more texture and interest. And I'm using foam tape to mount that single flower up. And once I have that down in place, all this page needs is splatter. So I'm going to add white acrylic ink splatter to just further add to the contrast. And white ink, I always feel, helps me bring everything together, and it also just helps make all the colors pop even more. So with that, this is complete, and I am going to use a journal sticker to add meaning to this page, and that's about it. So here is a closer look at the details of the gorgeous embossing, and I think this page came up came about together easily and effortlessly. I hope this has inspired you. Do leave your comments because I love reading them. And I want to say that you can use these same techniques and create a card if that's what you fancy. So until the next time, take care and bye bye.